So, Sean, the game of all games is tonight.
This is the biggest matchup, I think, in college basketball.
Iowa.
Of the year. Men's, women's, doesn't matter.
Couldn't get anything bigger. Couldn't get anything bigger. Couldn't get anything. How about this? It's the biggest basketball matchup. There's nothing in the NBA that you could put together that would be as compelling as Iowa playing against LSU on Monday night. There's nothing that you could put together. This is it. You have the defending champions on one side, the best player in the country on the other side, one of the single greatest players of all time. You got what went down last year. You got the backdrop of Kim Mulkey and the Washington Post article that was kind of more of a fart,
big
bit of a fart. Yeah, big fart, just a bit of a fart. Not really. I thought it was fairly interesting, but bit of a fart. That's all it was. You got that. Like, we've had a year to get going with this. White folks don't know how to act. So you got what happened with the UCLA LSU game and the dude at the LA Times that wrote the Dirty Debutantes versus whatever he called them, Milk and Cookies or whatever he called Iowa's team. And I'm just like, I'm obviously that man is responsible for his own words, but he sent that to somebody who had the opportunity to stop it. You know what I mean? Like, that is not a failure of the writer. That is a failure of the institution. That is a failure of processes. That is a failure of editing. That is a failure of awareness. It is not a failure that just simply goes to the one guy who wrote it. Everybody dropped the ball, but at the same time, appreciate you, because now you can stop acting like I be making this stuff up. You dig what I'm saying? I'm here for it. Like, look, this game tonight is going to feel a lot like Duke versus UNLV in 1991. I've had people push back on it for a number of small reasons, and I'm saying stop being so anal. Just, what my point is, okay? This ain't about so much being 100% right. You get what it is. We had this game last year, and now you go come back this year, and you got LSU and how they get down. I mean, LSU got a girl on their team who's named after her daddy's rap name. On the other side, Iowa. I don't have to say, you think yourself, I wonder what Iowa's women's basketball team look like. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they look like. Like, this is what it is. This is what it's going to be. It's what it kind of came down to at the end of the game last year. Not necessarily anything to do with the players themselves, but everything to do with the people who are watching the games. Everything to do with their tendencies toward projections and everything else. We got that, and I gotta be honest, it made me feel nostalgia, and I loved it. It was kind of fun. Okay, it's like one of them boxing matches. It's like watching wrestling. All right, we got these things. They come up. Sports bring them out. I feel like this is relatively harmless as long as you don't necessarily go too far. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all remember it. There we go. There's Angel Reese from last year out there being obnoxious, but somehow became people's hero. Right? I will never be able to understand. Andrew Reese became people's hero for that. And I'm just like, wow, what a terribly low bar. But anyway, it really is just an incredibly low bar. But it was also a really good basketball game. Like, there's so many levels to what this is going to be. It starts at 7 o'clock, so I ain't got to stay up all late to try to get at 7 o'clock Eastern. Got to remember, y'all ain't all in the same place. I cannot wait to see this. I can't. Sean, people tried to make the argument that this was not directly like UNLV Duke. And look, there was, by the way, the Dirty Debutantes versus Milk and Cookies column. Those columns were being written before UNLV Duke. That was the point. That's where I was going on this, right? Like, you do have the ways that people are going to do things. And you got the fact that they played against each other last year. You got all of that. And the biggest pushback that people gave me on the direct comparison was, yeah, but Kim Mulkey. All right. And I get you. But, like, Barry Switzer used to coach Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make that point about her, and I get it. You're like, I would never root for Kim Mulkey. That's fine. I don't know who exactly you think you're rooting for. She just a little louder about what's going on. But Caitlin Clark, for example, be tooling around with the MAGA governor of Iowa, right? I don't know how much say-so she has in that, but the fact is that she does it. So what you gonna do? You gonna root for that over Kim Mulkey if you claiming that it's on a matter on political principle? Is that what you about to do? Right, exactly. Stop trying to be anal jerks.
It's one of those games that's, like, I think bulletproof from any outside narrative, because the actual, like you said, the actual basketball and the narratives on the court are so good that it's automatically must-watch TV. Just like, watch the fucking game.
Yeah, but nothing is bulletproof for outside narratives because what we have been taught over time is how to make anything actually about ourselves, right? Like the whole game, this is my man Postman was talking about amusing ourselves to death, that like the approach of advertising, for example, advertising is not about the products, advertising is about you. Right. So whenever something is being sold, it's not about the product itself that's being offered. You present it in a way that makes it about the person. This is how this thing is going to make you feel. If you're this kind of person, this is what you do. If you're that kind of person, this is what you do. All the way up and down the line. And this game gives it to you 100%. Like, Sean, I was looking at this before I came out here to get started, where they had a chart of where the starters for the men's teams, where they all started their college careers. And I don't think NC State had a single player who started his college career at NC State.
Yeah, DJ Burns started at Tennessee, and I think the same goes for mostly the whole roster, like you're saying, which is the new age of college basketball, right?
Yeah, but this game, these women were there last year, although I have to be honest. They could go to Home Depot and pick up 12 white girls and switch out the ones that aren't Caitlin Clark, and I would be none the wiser. I'd have absolutely no idea. I don't know none of their names. I don't know their positions outside of setting screens. I have no idea what they contribute. Like normally when you get somebody like Caitlin Clark, especially if it's a white post around them, you start building up everybody else, right? Like when Duke was on TV all the time, you knew everybody on that team because they was going to make sure that you knew that white guy works really hard. Or the defensive stopper. Every one of the big teams got some dude they claim is a defensive stopper who ain't that good at defense. Carolina had one of them called Marcus Ginyard. He was a good dude. He wasn't a bad player, but they was out here making that dude sound like Stacey Augmon, and it wasn't true. Yeah, Sean, you can pull that up there. I don't know who none of them people are. It don't matter. It don't matter. You can get them out of there, put on add the Spice Girls, and throw on I don't know, some more of them. I ain't got no idea. The 4 non-blondes, I would have no idea, man. You could fool me any way that you want to, right? This is Caitlin. This is Caitlin Clark versus them. It's Caitlin Clark versus all y'all. As far as I'm concerned,
we got a comment on YouTube. Caitlin and the 4 heartbeats.
So I'm saying, man, it's Caitlin and the Bengals, Caitlin and the Go-Go's. I ain't got that much that I can provide to be helpful. I really can't. And this is gonna be dope. It really is. It really, really is. It's just, it does. And this is the thing about it. And I know there's some people out here that'll chastise me for not knowing and whatever. I don't care. What makes this dope and what I think is great about all of this is that it almost doesn't matter who anybody is, right? Everything is built in a way just to make this compelling. And it is your friendly reminder. Teams are what sell, right? Franchises and consistency are the things that sell. And I have heard dudes talk about being excited about this. I've heard women talk about being excited about this. I've just seen it on so many levels. That crowd gonna be cracking. Sean, you ever seen Harlem Nights?
I have not. I should.
All right. So it's up there. It's up there. But the culmination of the movie is a boxing match. You know, it's back in the day, like the 20s, 30s, whatever. But it's a boxing match between a black fighter and a white fighter. And I can't remember which one was first, the white fighter or the black fighter. But half the crowd is clapping and cheering for the one. And then they talk about the other one, and it goes immediately a shift. The one group sits down and gets quiet. Everybody else stand up and start clapping. That's going to be that's going to be the night. And it's going to be hilarious. It's jokes, man. Every time I talk, why are y'all making it about race? Because that's just how it worked, man. Okay? I didn't make it that way. It's going to make it hilarious. And boy, I tell you too, we all got to be honest about this, man. It made white people a little salty when, especially if it's basketball, they lose one of these matchups, right? But in the end, white people kind of feel like they playing with house money on those things. But my people, when it go the wrong way for us, man, like I feel like sometimes you walk around feeling like you got no direction, no purpose, nobody to love you for you. It don't feel right. We don't like it when white people assume we all good at basketball, but we really don't like it when they better. Ugh, could be rough. Prize Picks is the most fun you can have by winning up to 25 times your money. Prize Picks not only makes playing daily fantasy easy, it also makes using responsible gaming tools easy as well. Prize Picks wants their members to have easy access to the resources required to support their fantasy sports experience. So learn more at prizepicks.com/responsible-gaming or directly in Prize Picks' first in-class member support help center. And make sure you go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.